Hey y'all! Welcome to our podcast, The Pretty Ugly Struggle, hosted by Conni Luv and B-Hall. Each week, sit with us as we discuss viral topics, raising kids, relationships, running businesses, and trying to look good while doing it. The mother effing struggle is real.
I was like, she ain't got no phone, she ain't got no purse.
I said, Bridget told me not to go back in.
I was like,
Hey y'all! Welcome to our podcast, The Pretty Ugly Struggle, hosted by Conni Luv and B-Hall. Each week, sit with us as we discuss viral topics, raising kids, relationships, running businesses, and trying to look good while doing it. The mother effing struggle is real.
hey, 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 hey.
What up, what up, what up? It's your girl, Conni Luv.
And I'm your girl, B-Hall. And you're back for another episode of The Pretty Ugly Struggle.
The Pretty Ugly Struggle.
How's everyone doing out there? I hope you're doing well. How are you doing? How was your week?
It was good up until on my way here. I had hell getting here today, but it is what it is.
That's part of the struggle.
It was the struggle, but the grace of God.
But God
got me here, you know. But that's
yes,
it.
ma'am. I'm so glad to see your beautiful face. When I saw you come around that corner, I said, yes. Because I had started to get worried because my girl, I know she be a little late, but she don't be like that. She'll answer her phone at least. She'll text. She'll give you some kind of update. And I wasn't getting nothing. And it worried mama's soul a little bit.
Yeah. Listen, y'all, I left my purse at home and I had only my phone. So I had my navigation on my phone. The phone died.
And
So, no, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm here. I'm here. Yes, I'm here. Let me get a round of applause for
please.
the...
Thank you. Today's going to mark a milestone for us in the podcast world because we have our first guest.
We too.
We have a call-in guest, and we're really excited to talk about him because he is a police officer, and I just thought it'd be cool to get to hear that side of the movement and the things that he's experienced, and if things have changed for him, how he's feeling about things, have things become tougher for him a little bit. You know, I just want to know his side of things. So I'm excited to hear from him. How about you?
Of course I am. You know, I just want... I'm good. I have some, reservations, yes, about this call, but hey, I'm ready. I'm ready to rock.
We ready to rock. Okay, so let's just go ahead and hop in. You ready to give him a call?
Let's bring him on.
Okay, cool.
Officer Paul, right?
Officer Paul. Are you there, Officer
Hello,
Paul?
ladies. How are you? Yes, I sure am.
Hi. How are you today?
First of all, doing good. First of all, I want to thank you both ladies for having the show. It's such an honor.
We
And,
so appreciate you.
No, I thank you so much. And I almost did a missing person report because I did. When you said, I don't know where I placed her, I got kind of concerned to tell you the truth.
I have misplaced my co-host. I was like, please stand by. We might need you to get out on the streets and find her.
Wow.
That's cool. That's cool. So can I just ask you what made you become a police officer? Or how long have you been in the service as well?
I've been 13 years, and I went in when I was actually 43 years old. So,
oh, wow.
So in July 16th, I'll be 13 years as a police officer.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I went in because I thought I was myself, there had to be a change. There had to be a change in personnel, a change in how the police was looked at, and just trying to give a better service to people we serve. I know it sounds corny.
No.
Growing up, being Mexican and all that. So I encountered racist cops. My dad encountered racist cops. So I said, you know what? Time to get in there and see if at least I could at least help someone.
Can I ask you what field you were in before the age of 43?
Oh my gosh, yeah, sure. I actually I worked in radio. I worked in the media as a news photographer,
Okay.
and I attended culinary school, and I also worked in the movies.
Okay.
Wow.
Did
Okay.
some
Extensive
things.
career.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you decided, let me go protect some people. Let me go make
You
a
want to make a
difference.
change.
Let me go make a difference. Right?
Yeah, just because it's my brother was a police officer. He retired, and I was seeing came to visit him from California, and we got into an accident. I forget what freeway, and the officer was very rude, disrespectful. Uh, just because we were Hispanic,
Yeah.
saying things that we didn't have insurance, blah 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 blah. Yes, so that outlook that gave me, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
There's folks who are just shouldn't be on the job. But yeah, that's the reason why I decided.
So, do you see that now as an officer? Do you still see officers that should not have that position?
Are you asking me if there's people that should not be in it?
Yes, now that you are an officer.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure there's some, but here's the honest truth: I have not, in the 13 years that I've encountered, there's some that shouldn't be, but not because of racism. It's because it takes a certain individual to become a cop.
Yeah.
The
So,
stress value.
let me make sure I understand that. So you say you've been a police officer for 13 years, and you have
Yeah.
not witnessed any racist police officers or any police
No, ma'am.
officers who have displayed any type of racism.
No,
Wow.
because it's really, I mean, especially here in this city, it's totally different, and I'm sure it exists. It had to be. Back in the 80s, I heard stories of officers calling on the radio and using the N word.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so it's kind of like, what? And to me, it's shocking. And I tell you, I'll be honest with you, even when you folks call each other that, I feel, oh, don't say that word.
Mm.
The
N word? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It's just for some reason, they go, hello, hello.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I just don't like hearing that word. But no, I have not experienced, especially the team that I work with and the folks I've worked with in the past, have always been, you go, okay, why are you a cop? And because people go, oh, I want to help people. Well, you know what? You should be helping people as a human being.
Yeah,
prior to
definitely.
becoming a cop.
Facts.
Definitely.
I think it's our responsibility as people
Yeah.
Yes,
to
sir.
actually, watch out after we help one another. The reason why we do this is because we like the excitement and we like seeing just crazy stuff,
So you enjoy it. I have to say that that is very hard for me to believe. No matter where you are.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, it's sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
very hard for me to believe that you haven't experienced it or you haven't witnessed it, because I'm sure that most jobs that I've been on, even if it's just something as simple
Very
as
slight.
it's hard to get promoted, and when you are of another race in a job, you know what I mean? So you don't really see
Sure.
a lot of black and brown superior officers, like supervisors, and they don't really
Correct.
hold those higher positions. So to me, that's part of that systemic racism there. So you have to kind of have experienced it in some sort of fashion. Especially
Absolutely.
as a Hispanic officer.
Sure, absolutely. And I am totally against, what do you call it, when they hire you just because you happen to speak a quarter. Whether you're, and give me the job because I'm qualified,
Yes.
Right.
because I can do the job. But at the same time, I like that because it opens doors. Some people look at names and they go, no thanks, and they'll move the application pile to the
Yeah.
other side.
Yeah.
Can
And
I ask
so
you what type of
prefer to-
qualifications you've had to go through to become an officer?
Well, you got to have a high school diploma,
Mhm.
obviously, and nothing more than a Class C misdemeanor, which is a traffic ticket.
Mhm.
Never have anything higher than a Class B misdemeanor, which is family violence. Certain times, I guess you can smoke pot within 3-4 years prior to applying.
Mhm.
DWIs and stuff like that. Believe it or not, even good credit. You have to have good credit.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Most jobs do require
they
good
want someone
credit these
basically
days.
responsible. Yeah. So, and I know some cities, which really does bother me, ladies, and I hope I'm not sound too much of an ass. Oh, can I say that word?
No, you can say whatever you want to say.
We say fuck shit, goddamn, you know.
Sorry. And they would, because I work in a predominantly black area.
Okay.
I also live in the area that I patrol in.
Let me interrupt you there,
So,
because that is something
yes,
that I feel like should be a qualification in some kind of way. You should be patrolling an area that you are familiar with. So you, fortunately, are probably a great cop because you're familiar with the people in your neighborhood. You know what's going on.
They know you.
They know you. You know, so sometimes
Correct.
our behavior is different when we recognize you know, a familiar face, you know, and it's a different
Sure,
regard and a different respect. Is that something, can you request that when you become a police officer, or are you automatically
well,
assigned?
No, well, if you get high up on the list from graduation, you can request where you want to go. I've always wanted to work on the east side of town because there's more experience. You get into more things, and so that will make me a better cop to deal with certain things, as opposed to say a nice, pleasant neighborhood where nothing happens. And I mean, that's why you became a cop, to actually get into things and to learn and to see gruesome stuff and you know, but also, which is more importantly to me, is folks that are going to the academy, and I teach in the academy. And I tell them, what part of town do you want to go? Oh, I don't want to go east. I said, no, you're not going to go east and kick ass because there's some good folks that live on the east. I said, what you need to do is to learn the culture, the black culture, the Hispanic culture. Because, ladies, as you know, we are loud. We're talking. We're loud. and people think it's we're having an argument, and it's not.
Yeah, like it's aggressive or boisterous.
Correct. We're colorful. Yes, we're colorful. We have to, you know, claim our territory. This is what I'm saying. But I don't want to put anything against the white culture, but there's no culture there, if you know it.
What culture?
And I'm not trying to be. I mean, think about it. I'm not trying to be an ass, but you've got the Mexicans.
No, you're just speaking the truth. Culture. Yeah.
Okay. You got the African Americans with culture from the back. Where do they come from? Yeah. You've got the Italians who come from Italy. And so they all bring into this pot. And by the way, ladies, I am 4% black, just to let you know.
Okay. Oh, 4%. Look at you.
Well, that makes you black.
What they say, a drop of black and black?
A drop of black makes you black. Okay.
That's funny.
And the reason why is because I love history. It's because the Moors of Africa attacked Spain. So that's where the black blood comes from. And if people don't know it, but I think what we've been studied is shown that civilization actually came from Africa. Whether people want to accept it or not, that's their deal.
Yeah. Right.
But if what rules now is ignorance. Yes. Absolute complaint ignorance, not knowing what the other culture's about, just seeing what, you know, what they see the color, and they're thinking, that's a gangbanger. You know, with all this thing going around, and you know, what happened, absolutely horrible, broke my heart because some jerk tarnishes what I do.
Yeah. It's the same though. It's the same thing as, you know, the stereotype, like you just said, you see a black man or boy, you think he's a thug because of the color of his skin and he got a hoodie on. It's the same thing with police officers. We sometimes now, when I look at a white police officer, I think that he might possibly kill me.
Yeah,
you know,
I automatically think he's racist.
So we're experiencing that same type of fear.
Sure. Yeah. And absolutely. And what we need to do is, I mean, you know, yes, it happens. Yes, it happens everywhere. But like I said, if they don't know the culture, like an officer friend of mine, he's pumping gas and he's going to work. He's in uniform, and there's another vehicle on the other side of the island. And when the car moves around, the window rolls down, and it's a 30-year-old white male. And he tells the officer, my friend, he goes, "Hey, officer." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I hope you effing die today."
Oh, wow.
Okay. Now, I work on the east side, and I do details on Sunday. And there's a park, and all the black community hangs out, and the music's loud. They have their food. I don't care. But when I'm sitting there and I'm seeing this thing on Facebook, I get disillusioned. My hope just goes, "What's going on? I'm a good guy, you know." And so I hear a knock on my door. I don't see it. I roll in the window, and I get paranoid, you know. And there's this little black kid, and he has 3 bun cakes for me. He goes, "This is for you, officer." And then I look at the parents, and they go, "Hey, thank you for what you do."
That's dope.
I mean, you know, that. So to me, it tells me that the black community is not what's causing most of this stuff. Yes,
There you go.
it should be outraged. Yes, it should hurt you, absolutely. But it's not everyone.
It's
So
not everyone.
I'm driving to close the park. I'm driving to close the park now, and at 10 o'clock, and this one guy in dreadlocks coming up to me, and says, "Hey, yo!" I said, "Yeah, what's up?" He goes, "Are you a father?" And I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "Happy Father's Day." So you know it's not the black folks. It's not the black community, because I live. I handle. I know the culture. We go to meals. They give me food. We talk, and so that's what it's about. It's about knowing about each other.
For sure.
You know, but
That'll
the
help you
folks-
not to fear the black skin.
Correct.
When
Yeah.
Correct.
I'm in the military, Officer Paul, and when we go to different countries, when we're going to war, like actual war, we have to learn that culture. There's training. There's extensive training about
Correct.
the culture that because we don't want to offend anyone, we don't want to disrespect
Sure.
anyone. You know, so therefore we have language training, we have cultural training, just so that we are aware. So our senses aren't heightened when we see something that we're not familiar with. You said that you teach at the academy. That's not something that you all do. If you're going to put a white man from a certain
Timbuktu.
area, from Timbuktu, who's probably seen 10 black people in his whole life, you don't think that he needs some cultural training before you assign him to the hood?
Absolutely. We have culture diversity, which I also teach in the academy.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, I taught one a couple of months ago, and there was this one white guy. Seems like a nice kid. He seems terrific, but he goes, and he raised his hand. He goes, "I'm embarrassed." He goes, "Why?" He goes, I'd never seen a black person till I was 17 years old.
Wow.
In this day and age,
Yeah.
you know, so if he goes, I said, "Okay, perfect. This is what we need to do." So being officers, we see the worst in humanity. We see the worst what Hispanics do. We see the worst what white people do. The worst what Asians do. The worst what black people do.
Mm-hmm.
The human race is absolutely horrible. So all these things that go on, we see day by day, gets in our system. Some get jaded because we don't trust people.
Yeah.
But
That's interesting.
I know not everyone's like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll see me and they don't see the person. They see a uniform. They see authority. They see I'm not. I am absolutely not. When I pull people over, I never say, "Hi, I'm Officer So. You know, I pulled you." I never do, because it sounds so asinine.
Mm-hmm.
I first come up to them because I know it's a traumatic experience, and I say, "Hi, my name is Paul. How are you?"
Okay, so with
And
that
then-
being said, sorry to cut you off. What is your first thought when you arrive on the scene and it's involving a black male and it's a non-violent offense? What is your first thought?
Nothing, because
Nothing.
I work in an all-black community, and it's either going to be one or two, Hispanic. Obviously, when the name comes out, you know it's a Hispanic person. But yeah, we don't know. When people call 911 for us, we don't ask what color it is. We just respond. The only reason it ever comes out is when we're looking for a victim or a suspect, clothing-wise, hair, tattoos, scars, that type of thing. But we never, it's a black guy. I'm not taking a call. No, that would be absolutely horrible, and that'll be the end of our job. You know,
Well,
but no, it does.
I know that you can't speak for every police officer, but
Correct.
with that being said, do you think that how you feel, do you think that these officers that are pulling people over and shooting them because they felt like their life was in fear. Do you think that they have that
Hmm.
same sentiment? Are they pulling them over and like, oh, I don't really care what color he is? Or can you honestly say that when they pull them over, it's possibly that because of the color of their skin, they're immediately intimidated or they're immediately in
Um,
fear?
yeah, sometimes, and we have a sheet that we have to fill out electronically for racial profiling because
Hmm.
the FBI requires that.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we don't know who's driving the vehicle. We're just checking license
Yeah.
plate. We're a stop sign or stop light. We just run plates. And if it comes back, sometimes it comes back stolen. Sometimes it comes back with warrants. So, we don't know who's in the vehicle.
Yeah.
Um, so we pull you basically for sometimes traffic infractions. Now, when we go up to the car, and then they start, and I've gotten many times, why are you racial profiling? I said, I have no idea. I said, my x-ray vision doesn't work today. The car's not made out of glass. This is why I pulled you over. And I always give them a second chance. If maybe you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Because
Hi,
we have
I'm Paul.
bad
How are
days. We're
you?
human. We're freaking human.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me
You
tell
know,
you
and
something. Every
sometimes
time I get pulled over, it's a bad day.
It's a bad day.
Because it's the same,
well, it
it's the
shouldn't
same
be. Oh
thing
my
though. Honestly, the reason I say that is because I'll be very honest and transparent. If I see a white police officer walking up to my car, I'm immediately like,
I'm tense.
I'm tense. I'm nervous. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know his angle, so I'm extremely nervous. If I see a black officer, I am like, okay.
He'll understand.
This might not be so bad. This might not be so
Right.
bad. You know what I mean? If I see a Hispanic cop,
Right.
I don't know which one I'm gonna get. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's why I say, I'm being honest in saying that I feel that way when I see a police officer.
Sure.
I'm sure that there are several police officers that feel that way when they see us. You know what I mean? They see me, they might be like, here comes this, oh, it's a black woman. She finna be loud. You know what I mean? Whatever. She finna be boisterous. So they probably
Aggressive.
already
You know what?
have, this stereotype of what we are.
Sure. Absolutely. It's seen. I pulled this black woman. She almost hit a guy on the street. And, the guy on the street goes, man, do something. And there was a black gentleman. So I'm behind, I see it. So I light him up and I pull a lady over. And she's, what do you want? I'm like, oh, hey, listen, I'm just letting you know, to educate you. This is what we saw. These pedestrians crossing, blah, blah, blah. And I said, driver license and insurance. I put my car. And I didn't know about this. But she's calling 911.
Oh.
And she's saying, this officer pulled me over. He's going to Sandra Bland me. I didn't know it. He's rude. He's cussing me out. And this is
Better
Hey,
be safe.
better be safe.
I'm gonna be safe.
you
I
know.
don't trust him.
So I go back to the car, and she's calling and cussing me out. And then and I said, this is before we got cameras. And I said, well, ma'am, I said, everything's all right. Here you go. Just be safe with pedestrians. I know they just dart from anywhere. All places. Have a great day. And she's just like, looking at me like, and then I know it's the phone. So my sergeant called me. Because if you get complaints, you get calls right away.
Mhm.
And I said, yes, did you pull something? Yes, sir. He goes, were you rude? I said, no. He goes, wow, I believe you. He goes, because I can hear you, the voice being recorded, telling her that be careful, have a great day, and blah, blah, blah.
Mm. Okay.
So and I totally get it. When I get pulled over, I get freaked out. It's a traumatic experience. And even though I'm a cop, when you see those red blues go on, you get panicked. What are you going to do? And my hands always go to the steering wheel.
Yeah.
I guess it's just the authority thing. And, and it saddens me that you feel that way.
Yeah.
Let me ask a question.
I'm telling you,
I'm sorry. Go
yes.
ahead. Okay.
That's okay. No, go ahead.
Do you feel that there should be changes within police departments? I know everybody has different rules and things like that per county and things, but do you feel like there should be some type of changes within the system?
Listen, absolutely. I think, now this is what I'm thinking that, I think that not just the police department, I think this country every 15 to 30 years needs to upgrade laws in how we deal with people and educate ourselves. It's like a computer, like your phone. Every once in a while, you need an update.
Need an upgrade.
You can't go by the
iPhone makes a new phone every year. So we need we need new policies every 5 years.
At least.
Absolutely. You need,
it should be revisited on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, my department so up to date on de-escalation. We're one of the few departments in the country that went first with it. Yeah. We have so many mental health cases that we got to take. And, people want to talk about defunding the police. You know what? You want to defund it, go right ahead. That takes me from doing accidents. That'll take me away from doing mental health issues.
Okay.
We'll get volunteers. Well, mental health folks are crazy, and not to be insulting, but they have issues and they get violent.
Yeah.
So, if you want to defund police, knock yourself out. But you got to understand that money is just less police. And then you go, oh, we need more training. Well, where do you think the money comes for training? So now you're making so-and-so X amount of dollars because it doesn't pay enough, but you're making a good, decent wage. So now you want defunding so the prices go down at $15 an hour. Do you want some Yahoo with a gun and badge who's not qualified to take in calls? Absolutely not. It's like a surgeon. Hey, I didn't take that class, but I can operate on your tonsils. No, thank you. So
I feel like that's what's going on now. I feel like that's the problem. Yeah. I feel like even if we, defund the police or take away funding, right now it's already a problem. These officers are not being trained well enough, obviously, or there's something that's going on to where, as a police officer, you're putting yourself in the line of duty every day. And so, I don't understand how you can get away with the excuse of, oh, I feared for my life. You're trained to not fear for your life because you're supposed to be helping
a woman that's been in the Army.
You're supposed to help take care of me. You're supposed to.
I totally get it.
You get what I'm
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But see, here's the thing, and I understand your point. Absolutely, we shouldn't be scared because when somebody shoots, like for example, a couple of weeks ago, there was a shooting in the park, and there was like 400 people. Well, there was 3 white officers and 2 Hispanic officers in this park. I was one of them, and all of them, hundreds of them, and they carried a guy who got shot in the leg, went behind me because I had the gun, and I was there to protect them. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's screaming and hollering and screaming, and it's chaos, and I don't know if the guns are coming towards me. So I tell everybody, get behind me, and they all got to be crouched down. Well, I stood up to make sure they were safe. Now, in those instances, even when I go to loud music halls, I get scared. It's not that I'm fearing for me, but I'm fearing, okay, the situation's what's going to happen. There's like 40 people. They're drunk.
It can escalate quickly.
So you think, so you think in scenarios, how am I going to approach this? How am I going to talk? It's constant. And we get updates as we go into the call on the computer. Bing, bing, bing. Hey, 40 people, they got the pairs and I got knives. I said, okay, I got to deal with this. So it's not the fear thing. And you got to remember, it's not an excuse. But we have seconds to decide. When we tell you something, please get your hands out of your pockets, please. And I never go and let them do it because sometimes there's weapons in there. I grab them by the hand and said, do not reach in your pocket because I don't know what's in there. Yeah. So, and then people don't like it, but I'm sorry. I want to go home to my family. I want to see them. Yeah. So it's what I would encourage, I truly do. I encourage you ladies, if you live locally, look into if there's write-out programs for your local police department and go on a shift and see what it's like. And basically, you can go out with every call. Okay. I had a girl who wanted to become a cop one day, and we go to a call, and I got shot at.
Damn.
And they're shooting at me. And
do I get a bulletproof vest since I've gone to ride out?
I need a gun. You got me not a gun. You got to give me something. No. You got to give me a weapon.
I'm licensed. Can I bring my gun? I'm licensed to carry. Can I bring my gun?
No.
Come on now.
Things happen. Yeah. And when you see it, then you at least understand a little bit. Oh, okay, now I know why you do it. Now I understand it. And to us, sometimes it's a saying, we much better be tried by 12 than be carried by 6.
Yes.
And sometimes these cases, you just don't want to wait because let me say this. Even if I have my gun pointing at you and your hands are in your pocket and you have a gun, I cannot tell what's on your mind. And that's how most of the times officers get shot because by the time I say, hey, man, let me see your hands, your gun comes out, you take a pop shot, and then my brain doesn't register that till a couple of seconds later till I'm hit. So because action is faster than reaction.
Yeah.
And it's been proven time and time again. So that's what we fear. It's not that we're like, oh, but shoot, I'm happy. No, it just means that fear is good, in my line of job because all your senses go up and you're observing every movement. And basically, it's this. Just when you were a kid, when mom says, "Don't touch that," and don't touch it, what happens? You get spanked when you disobey mom. In my case, it was the old chancla. You know how Mexican moms are? They have the little, you get your ass for it. And it's not in police. If I say, "Hey, please, just stay right there. Don't move. Keep your hands out." That's what we're asking.
But see, I guess for me, like again, being in the military, okay, so we have rules of engagement when we're at war. Like, so we're at actual war. Like, it's not, I'm pulling somebody over. Like, I'm in a position to where I'm fighting for not only my life, I'm fighting for my country, right? So I know that I'm putting myself in a position to die for my country at the end of the day. We have rules of engagement. I can't just shoot somebody because I'm nervous. I can't shoot somebody because I'm scared. I know that because like in Afghanistan, it's customary, it's normal for them to carry AK-47s. So I can't just decide, oh, he had 2 AK-47s, so I'm going to shoot him. I can't do that.
Right.
So I just feel like as a police officer, your job is to protect and defend. So I have to, my feeling is more like, okay, well, he might have something in his pockets, you know what I mean? He might. But if he doesn't, you took his life on accident, or you took his life and it wasn't worth it. And that's the problem I think that we're having now. It's not that we know that there are criminals. We know that people are doing these things, like somebody might have a gun. We know that this is going on, but it has to be something different to where it's changing, where it can't be justified that you thought he had a gun. That's not good enough. If that's my son, it's not good enough. Thinking is not good enough.
No, sure. And that's why it goes to the grand jury. But war is different. You're going to go have a gunfight. It's going to happen.
So, but why isn't it look like that as a police officer? You know that you're going to face some crazy people. You know that you're going to face criminals. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah, but it's called different. In war, you're at war. You're in war. You know who your enemy is. You know it.
Yeah.
Here, we don't know who it is. It could be a 90-year-old guy who just flips his, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
so do you feel like that those type of non-violent type get my cat out the tree should be like sent to another type of
Absolutely.
Okay.
I got this is snake in my fastest. My kid won't get up to go to school. That is not my problem.
Like maybe the cops that are in training should go on those non-violent calls, get my cat or my kid is being, like when they're still in training.
Somebody's selling cigarettes outside of the store.
Thing. Somebody don't have a gun either.
Somebody has a counterfeit $20 bill at my store. It should be some normal officer who
absolutely and like
who doesn't have a gun, who doesn't want to use force.
Correct. And I guess there's a way to train people. And in our academy, we train them to train properly and say, we have escalation. What do you do? Do we do this? No. Hey, then we move on up the ante if you decide not to. I like to go hands on. Mm-hmm. I like to go hands on. I'm not going to lie. I like to get in a good fight. But that's it.
What is that your phone?
No.
Is that your phone, Mr. Paul?
My intro music to me. That sounds like circus music. What?
I don't have that on my phone.
We're running out of time, but I do want to know, do you actually feel like you have to pick a side with the movement? Do you have to pick Black Lives Matter or Blue Lives Matter? Or can you represent both?
I think we can represent both. Being Hispanic, like I said, being just harassed because I was in a white neighborhood driving an old beat-up car. Mm-hmm. My dad getting threatened, being taken to immigration when he was waiting for the bus at 2 a.m, asking, where are you going? Well, I'm waiting for the bus. I just got off work. I think for me personally, I think labels separate us. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It separates us. I hate separation because I grew up with different cultures. And to me, it's probably the most awesome thing as a human being to experience, to go to for example, you go to have Thanksgiving in a white family. It's quiet and boring. You go to a Hispanic or you go to a black family. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's a blast.
Lit.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, decide pick sides, I can't. I think we're all truly important. And like I said before, we all got to take care of each other. You know, I retire in 4 years and 4. I want to make sure that my day, every day, the question I ask myself is, what good did I do today?
Yeah.
One
Man,
thing.
thank you.
So,
That's dope. That's
Yeah,
dope.
that's really good.
We so appreciate you for hopping on with us as our first guest. And I think it was a really good conversation.
It was a great conversation
We
because I
appreciate
had
you.
apprehensions.
Thank you
'cause I
so
was
much
like,
for
"He ain't
having me. Yeah. And don't get lost
Anytime.
in
Hit
more
me up whenever you want to hop back on and have something to say.
If I get lost, I'm calling you, Officer Ball. Come get me because I don't trust these other cops.
I'll be like, hey, do you know Officer Paul? That's my boy.
So listen, let's plan a ride out. Let's plan a ride out.
Okay.
With both of you.
Okay,
And then
definitely.
I'll take you out and explain, and that way you can see exactly what it is. And
Ooh,
go,
that's
oh, now I
intense.
understand.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think I'm on an
trust me,
episode
it's
of
a plus.
Cops. I'm not. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. I'm
Connie,
sorry. My
I highly
PTSD is too
recommend.
real.
Ooh.
No.
We'll figure it
I highly
out.
recommend it.
I might
I
have her on
highly
FaceTime while I'm in the ride out or something. We'll figure it out. Thank you so much for
Again,
joining us
thank
today,
you.
Officer
We
Thank you
Paul.
so
appreciate
much. It was a
y'all.
pleasure having you. Thank you so much.
All right. You have a good day.
You do too. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Up, Officer Paul.
All right.
Okay, that was cool. That was very interesting. You know,
That was deep.
It was
kinda
deep.
deep.
You know, Officer Paul was all right. You know, I thought a little differently. What do you think about it?
I honestly was just listening and absorbing everything that he had to say. He had some interesting takes as far as like why he became an officer. He became an officer late in life as well.
That was surprising.
I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
I do like that he agreed that there needs to be some reform
Yeah.
with it. You know, I don't know what it's like to be an officer. So I just really was like listening, and I enjoyed the conversation. To be honest.
I definitely did too. I'll tell you what my issue.
Well, you spoke on your issue. I don't believe that in 13 years you ain't never seen.
I still don't believe it. I don't believe that because
That is your prerogative.
you know what I mean? Because the thing is that again, like I'm not a police officer, so I don't understand his plight. He's not a black man, so he doesn't understand a black man's plight, you know, but he is a brown, so he understands the plight of the oppressed. So I understand that portion of it, and that may be why he is a great officer. It's just they're not all like him. And to me, that's the part that he kind of didn't want to acknowledge.
Okay.
You know? Other than that, everything else, he seems like a great person.
Yeah.
But you got to also be able to acknowledge that there's a problem in order to be able to fix it. And maybe their department should be the model department of what other departments should be. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, but it was a good conversation. It was cool. I'm glad we had.
Did you take anything from it?
As far as what?
Did you get any like knowledge? Did you gain any knowledge from the conversation, or were you like, okay, I pretty much knew that?
Most of the stuff, you know, he kind of agreed with us on. So it's kind of like, okay, he has the same sentiments as us. I know that all cops are not bad cops.
Yeah.
Especially a brown cop, you know, like, so I understand that he doesn't fear us. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, okay, I expected him to kind of feel how we feel. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to say I didn't learn anything because he said a lot of relevant things, and it was good to hear. Like how when they're getting all of these updates, I'll tell you, let me say that.
Yeah,
that's the one thing that I did understand. Mm-hmm. You know, you go into a situation and you're like, oh, it's 40 people here, it's 150 people here, and I got a call and they're disturbing the peace and they drunk, and it's just you and another officer. Your senses are heightened. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I know that every police officer should or probably does have PTSD. Yeah. You know, that job comes with it, you know. So I understand that, but I didn't know like they're constantly getting these updates. Yeah. So it's constantly making your senses more and more heightened. So now you're like, okay.
Oh, first it was 40. Oh, now it's 60.
Yeah, it's like when you going somewhere, you got into it with a girl and you on your way to go get in, you on your way to get it popping, and your homegirl keep calling you, girl, and then she said, and then they said. So now
and then this showed up.
Yeah. And now, so when you get there, you ready, you really on go. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't even that deep. It ain't even all that stuff.
Then you get there, you're like, this is a little party.
Yeah, but your sense is already heightened, so it's 20 people instead of 100 people, but you already heightened. Or it's kids but you're already ready for the go, you know. So I understand that part. That was something that was enlightening for me, I say.
Cool.
I hope y'all enjoyed that. You know, we just wanted to get somebody else's perspective, and why not talk to the police, to the po-po? You know what I'm saying?
I love the way you say police, too. Like, for you to be so proper, but still say police. It's just so cute.
Police.
Every time you said it, I, like, smiled a little bit inside.
My little 3-year-old be saying it. Girl, go to police.
I love it.
Yeah. That was most of our time today. Did you want to go over anything else?
No. I just want to, like, wrap up a little bit, and I think that was enough shit, you know, for this episode.
Woo, y'all. Woo-sa.
Y'all
don't
so let's
understand how tense I
regroup.
was.
Yeah. I think I'm so proud of you. I think you did very well.
Yes.
You spoke very fluently, and you let him know how you felt too, and you had some really good questions, and you were receptive to his answers too, you know? So that's dope. I appreciate that.
You got a pretty girl and a pretty boy of the week.
Oh, we do.
What do we have?
Okay, so our first up, we're going to say the pretty boy of the week goes to all the stepfathers. Father's Day just passed a couple days ago, and we appreciate the men that step up when the biological dads are not involved or not as involved as we would like as mothers. So we appreciate those men that are stepping into those roles.
Definitely.
Taking care of those kids, protecting those kids, becoming friends and cool with those kids, not just being an authoritative figure towards those kids, appreciating those kids. You know what I'm saying? They are little humans. You know, they have their own lives that they're trying to figure out as well. So I really want to give a shout out to the stepfathers that are stepping up.
Yes, let's give them a round of applause. Stepdaddies. What's that song? Do the stepdaddy. Do the stepdaddy.
You talking about that one?
Yeah, that one. Look. Pretty girl, who you got?
Do you have your pretty girl I text you about?
Oh, yes. Our pretty girl of the week her name is Mia Moss.
All right, Miss Mia.
Hey, Mia. I don't know her personally, but I actually know her husband personally. We grew up together. His name is Frank Moss, and he does a lot of stuff for the community as well. His family did a lot of stuff for the Fort Worth community. But Mia, let's back to her. She opened up a black coffee shop.
I love it.
And it's called Black Coffee in East Fort Worth. It's right across the street from Texas Western University. I haven't went. I meant to go this morning, but I had a rough start. But I just think that's so dope.
That is beyond dope.
You know what I mean?
And it's doing very well.
Yeah, all the reviews have been amazing. So Mia, we're gonna come check you out. Y'all
can't wait. I don't even drink coffee, but I'm gonna have a cup with you, ma'am.
Oh, you know, I'm an avid coffee drinker, so I've heard great things. So I cannot wait to partake. But yeah, I think that's dope. You know, stepping out of your element, stepping out of the norm, and doing something that's going to be a staple in the community, you know?
For sure.
So I'm excited about that.
Doing big things.
So
we appreciate you.
You are our pretty girl of the week.
Yay! Keep doing your thing, ma'am.
Okay, that's it, y'all.
Hey, another week down.
We did that.
We did it. We did it.
Thank y'all again for joining in, listening to us.
Please follow us on all the platforms. Instagram, the Pretty Ugly Struggle on Instagram.
Make sure y'all leave comments on what is that?
Spotify,
iTunes, you know,
Apple Podcasts.
Subscribe. You know, that's how you
support.
get.
Support your girls.
Because
Black Lives Matter. matter. Okay, Black businesses matter.
Again, thank y'all for joining us. It's been another week of the Pretty Ugly Struggle.
I'm your girl B-Hall.
And I'm your girl Conni Luv.
Check you next week.
Bye.